When I first started this channel, I was shooting cell phone video without even so much as a tripod or a proper microphone. I did the best I could with the equipment I had, as I wasn't about to go investing significant money without knowing that it would be worth it. As the channel has evolved, I've been upgrading my equipment accordingly, and most of the time it's a very behind the curtain process. The final product might look or sound a little bit better, and over time these incremental changes have hopefully resulted in a vastly improved viewer experience. Now, as the new year turns over, I wanted to show off some new tech I'll be utilizing on the channel in 2018, both because it's highly functional and because I think it's really freaking cool. A couple of weeks ago on a live stream, I mentioned briefly that I had recently added a new camera to my AV arsenal and asked the viewers if they had interest in a full comprehensive review of it. There seemed to be a good amount of people who wanted to hear more about the GH5, and that was the main driver for putting this video together. However, as I am not a professional photographer or videographer, and many more competent people have already done thorough overviews of this camera, I figure the best thing that I can do is talk about why I upgraded and what features I take most advantage of. The camera that I used for over a year is the one that I'm filming this video on, the Lumix G7. It's a fine piece of equipment and one that I still use for my live streams. But when the GH5 was announced, I knew that this would be my next shooter. To start off subjectively, the images produced by the GH5 are just flat out better. They're sharper and have better dynamic range and often give smoother bokeh effects in the background as well as truer colors. This comes from a much improved Micro Four Thirds sensor, which shoots higher resolution stills, higher bitrate video, and 10-bit color. Although I've dabbled in 422 10-bit, I found that I don't actually need to be shooting this way, and it led to quite a bit longer post-production and rendering times as all the footage needed proper color grading. Still, 420 8-bit looks fantastic, and the plethora of available color profile presets allows for easy adjustments to any shooting situation. Another feature that comes in handy is the in-body stabilization. The lens that I use most often for product shots is the Sigma 18-35, which is not stabilized, and slow zoomed pans can really easily develop some shakiness. The sensor also now does not crop the image when shooting in 4K, whereas the G7 chops out about 10% of the picture that you frame up once you press the record button. Slow-mo is something that I've only played around with a little bit, but if you like to capture those super sexy B-roll shots, the GH5 can grab 180 frames per second at 1080p. That's 3 times the frame rate available on the G7. Many other practical features make the GH5 a worthwhile purchase, like continuous recording between its 2 SD card slots, built-in Bluetooth for additional connectivity, and fantastic remappable buttons and dials. All in all, it's been my favorite addition to the video kit so far. The next product I want to talk about also has a camera on it, only this one operates from several hundred feet in the air. This is the DJI Mavic Pro, and I got this as a Christmas present from my very generous and very patient wife. Due to my work schedule, time of year, and some frigid temperatures and actually some snow, I've only been able to fly it a few times so far, but what a crazy experience it is to pilot such an awesome machine. The main purpose of the Mavic will be for aerial photography, obviously, but this is going to be during trips, and I would have loved to have had it while I was in Iceland this past September. You've probably seen or heard of the Mavic Pro by now, as it's no longer considered a new product, but it's brand new to me and it's still very exciting. The 4K camera mounted on a 3-axis gimbal makes for some buttery smooth footage, and the fact that you could flip a switch and put the drone into sport mode and fly around at 40 miles an hour makes it even more fun. The next 2 pieces of kit head over into the audio realm and comprise a new voiceover setup for the channel. I've used a monoprice large diaphragm mic and Behringer USB audio interface for about a year and a half without any real issue. But recently I began to notice more and more hum or hiss whenever I recorded. This required some serious post-production work to try to minimize the background noise. And it wasn't a matter of echo, which can be fixed with relatively inexpensive sound dampening. I'm not sure what exactly happened, but I think it was an issue with the mic, as I changed out both the XLR cable and the audio interface with the same result. I decided that I would upgrade to the Rode NT1A, the perfect studio mic for my voice work, and hook it into the Focusrite Scarlett 2i2. This should produce some crystal clear and sharp vocals without any distracting other stuff. The mic has ultra-low noise pickup and a cardioid polar pattern, meaning it should reject any incidental sound reflections off the walls or off of my monitor, which is often what I'm speaking towards. The 2i2 also gives the flexibility to add in a second audio channel if I want at a later time, and has gain control and a separate monitor output for headphones. This lens right here has become one of my go-tos. This is the Panasonic Lumix G Leica DG, you know what? It's crazy long. I'm just gonna put it on the screen. It doesn't give quite the super shallow depth of field that my Sigma lens does, but it is itself stabilized, meaning that when I mount it to the GH5, I get dual stabilization. It also provides both a wider wide angle and a farther zoom, and combined with the fact that it's both smaller and lighter than the Sigma, make it a great lens for shooting on the move, like when at trade shows. It doesn't boast quite as good low light performance due to its smaller f2.8 aperture, but the majority of my videos are done in the glow of studio lighting, so that's not much of an issue. The last new item on my desk, and one that you might glimpse in future videos, doesn't actually have anything to do with production, but it's still really cool. This is the Lumetric Wi-Fi clock. It can be programmed with any number of free downloadable apps to display a whole bunch of different information. Right now I have it set to show my YouTube subscriber live count, but you can also use it to show stock or crypto prices, the weather, a timer, or just the time of day. It's a Bluetooth speaker, an alarm clock, and a way to control your smart home, and it looks pretty dope too. So that's the gear I've added to the list over the past month or so, and this year hopefully all of it will come in handy bringing you guys some great content. Get subscribed to the channel so you don't miss out on any of it, and check out my merchandise store link down below if you want to pick up a shirt or a mouse pad to help support me directly. As always guys, thanks for watching.